My fellow COD players, huge shout outs to every single one of you people. I think we're up to like what, 3,000 views. I think I'm up to like 3,000 views, like 60 likes, and like 100 plus comments. You guys are going fucking insane. Huge shout outs to every single person who supported my last video I made. I was expecting that video to get, honestly, like 300 to 400 views. I had no idea that video was going to blow up the way that it did. So huge shout outs to all of you guys. I'm trying my best to respond, to thumbs up and like every single comment for every single one of you amazing people who took time out of your busy day to support a very small YouTube channel like myself. And I had to start this video as just a huge thank you. You guys absolutely blew that video up, and I cannot tell you how happy that made me. I'm reading all the comments, both positive and negative. There's some people who are, you know, thankful for the video I made, showing them opening their eyes, and there's some people who are a bit more harder to convince, and that's what this video is going to be. So this is going to be a follow-up to that video. I'm going to be explaining some things in more detail, kind of backing up my points, because some people had strong beliefs that skill-based matchmaking was invented in COD 2019, and I can assure you it was not. As someone who's played and owned every Call of Duty, both online and offline play, who's played the game extensively, I can assure you with visible proof, as I'll show you now, that there has been skill-based matchmaking in the game for a while. It's just there's been different kinds of it, different levels. And so yeah, starting with this video, I have this clip. As a commenter said in the video that I posted last time, that this is technically fair use, so I am gonna play this clip. I was kind of afraid that the video was gonna get taken down just because I'm a very small content creator, so I'm just gonna go ahead and play some clips in this one. That way it's not pure just, you know, watching a video. But yeah, without further ado, let's watch this video, shall we? This is a video of Swag crashing out because he's playing ranked and he doesn't get to abuse low rank little Timmies and Jimmies, you know, in them protected brackets. This is a man who's dropped like what, 200 nukes, or I don't keep track of his stuff, but he's dropped hundreds of nukes abusing the lower bracket protected skill-based matchmaking lobbies, and he played ranked and crashed out when he actually had to play people who actually had functioning ears, functioning thumbs, and, you know, shot back. And I saw this clip, wanted to show you guys. It's really funny. We're gonna watch Swag crash out real quick. So, I don't know what's funnier about this clip. The fact that Mr. I can drop hundreds of nukes in casuals, but can't get out of bronze 3 in ranked. I don't know which is funnier, that or the fact that he's flexing that he does yoga in the morning. I don't know, you know, many men, grown men who flex, they do yoga in the morning. That's you do you, obviously. No shade, but I'm just saying that's... Of all the things people flex, doing yoga in the morning was not on my bingo board. But yeah, this clip made me laugh hysterically hard. Having Swag absolutely crash out in a ranked game was so funny, especially considering the fact that, again, he's only in bronze, what, 3-2? Like, this dude, it's literally, he plays one group of people who can actually use their thumbs, who actually shoot back, who, like, have functioning ears. And the dude just completely unravels, man. I mean, you see it from the guy who tweeted this out. Pub's reverse booster plays against people who can moderately shoot back and completely crashes out. So that was very funny. That was very funny. So for all the people in the comments of that last video I made defending Swag, saying Swag's not one of these Sbmm abusers, you're wrong. Speaking of being wrong, this was a video Swag posted literally 24 hours ago, in which he basically admits to boxing, which is really funny. Obviously, I'm going to play this clip for context, but we in HD, we are in HD. So yeah, this is a clip of him. I have captions on just in case you don't understand him. But yeah, this is going to be another clip of a video he posted yesterday where essentially people aside from me were calling him out on Twitter and YouTube and yada 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 about two boxing, and this is what he said. Okay, so I paused the clip a fraction bit too early, but either way, you heard it right there. So this is Swag attempting to what we call save face. Swag knows, first of all, he said he doesn't VPN. He's a liar. Secondly, you can't prove whether or not someone is or isn't VPNing except for themselves. So him saying I don't VPN has zero weight. The only person who can tell if he's VPNing or not is if he shows you his screen while he plays before he boots up the game, which he will never do that because he hides his screen. So that claim that he says has zero proof behind it. Secondly, him saying he doesn't 2-box, but admitting to play with people, which he calls, you know, their teachers, the average Joes, the normal people, because he's just such an amazing gamer, as you saw in the first Twitter clip. He's so just god tier that, yeah, he plays with some, you know, average Joes and schmoes, and of course they host, because why would he want to play against good competition when that's not how it works either? Spoilers alert, Sbmm doesn't work based off an individual person. It goes based off your team. So if the 4 or 5 other people Swag is playing with, let's say has a KD between the range of like 0.5 and like 0.8, and he has a KD of like 25, the average of that KD, you would add them all up and then divide by like 5 or 6, and that would be your group KD. So yes, he doesn't intentionally play with throw accounts, but he is beating around the bush in a saving face by essentially saying, see, I don't go out of my way to play with bot accounts, but I do know bots and I play with them, which is basically no different than 2-boxing. He's doing the exact same thing. I also find it funny, he waits till the very end of this video to talk about this subject, not the other 7.5, 8 minutes of this video in which he does not talk about this topic. He just saves it right here towards the very end where Swag knows nobody will watch the video. So yeah, if you were one of those Swag defenders in the comments, you're cooked. He admitted it basically in this video 24 hours ago that yes, I abuse Sbmm. And again, with the Twitter clip I've already showed you, the dude is crashing out in bronze 3 of ranked. So if you think the guy who's dropped hundreds of nukes in BO6 is a god tier gamer, but is hard stuck bronze, at the time of this clip, I'm sure he's not bronze no more, but at the time of this clip, you have to reassociate your life. You have to rethink about your choices here. But yeah, that was the Swag allegation. Secondly, with Korean Savage, I do not follow K3. I have not followed K3 for a while. Quite a few of you guys in the comment section let me know that the story that I remember of someone abusing skill-based matchmaking to basically bully a handicap person was K3, and it was, I believe, you guys told me it was a deaf girl. I do apologize for not remembering the exact story, but yes, I did not know that the streamer who did that was K3, so it's really kind of ironic that in that portion of the video I was talking about Korean Savage and he was the one who ended up doing that. So that was really funny, along with the people who were defending Dismo, saying, oh, dude, no, Dismo's just really good. Dismo is just like a secret CDL player. Dismo can drop like hundreds of kills in Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, and World War II, and like his entire team combined can't even equal his kills. Hell, there's some gameplays Dismo has on his YouTube channel where you can combine his entire team and the enemy's entire team, add 9 players' kills together, and they still won't equal Dismo's kills. He's just the greatest CDL player ever. I don't know why he's never gone pro. I don't know why he's never tried for a team. I don't know how you could be that amazing in pubs, but then never try to go pro. It almost makes you think a little hard about why those people do what they do. Next, I'm just going to be tackling these like point by point. I do not have this pre-scripted. This is off the dome. Rant part 2. That's what I'm probably going to name this video. But there was a lot of you guys who genuinely believed that skill-based matchmaking started in Modern Warfare 2019. And I'm just going to let you know that there's been many reputable sources like Drifter, Exclusive Ace, Nero Cinema. I can keep, name dropping very, very respected COD content creators who've been in the scene for about as long as I've been alive. So these individuals have been saying there's been skill-based matchmaking, hard skill-based matchmaking for a while. So for the people in my comments who just didn't believe it or couldn't believe it, here you go. Here's a clip, or not a clip, from a tweet, I should say, from Chuck. How old is this tweet, by the way? This tweet is from 2020, by the way. So for context, this was a December tweet from Warzone. Chuck says, I reverse boost in Cold War. So automatically, you know, interesting. I reverse boost in Cold War and used to be the #1 reverse booster in the world, according to Drifter, back in Advanced Warfare. Already the people who said that there wasn't reverse boosting in Advanced Warfare, literally he says it himself that he did it back in Advanced Warfare. That being said, I did/do it in Advanced Warfare, Modern Warfare 2019, and Cold War. If there's a high skill base, I will be finding a way around it. No COD League matches will be played here. So you heard it from the horse's mouth. This guy, Drifter, called out for being a massive reverse booster, said, I'm a massive reverse booster because I want to abuse bad players. Not the only one, by the way. Yes, I have reverse boosted in Cold War. Keep in mind, I've been playing COD for 10 plus years, and I have dropped the exact same gameplays plus crazier ones in the previous COD games without reverse boosting. I'm just keeping it real with all my followers. Chain feeds. I believe I had him also in my video. I believe I did. I reverse boost to have fun in Cold War because skill-based matchmaking is trash. Tell us something that we don't know. Remove skill-based matchmaking. W. Very interesting chain feeds. But yeah, essentially, as I will talk about a little bit later in this video, the idea that skill-based matchmaking has only been around the last couple games is objectively wrong. The exact time period that we know definitively that matchmaking, the algorithm of skill-based matchmaking began to be fucked with, basically, was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. That was the first game in which skill-based matchmaking went from being a casual thing to being cranked up to a scientific method. Next, for the people who were like, hey, there wasn't in World War II. Hey, it wasn't in, you know, Advanced Warfare, these older titles. Nero Cinema, a very respected individual. To those who feel like they need a reverse boost in COD World War II, consider playing private matches against recruit bots. You can pick the map, the mode, and make your own rules. They might be more your speed. So this is a tweet from 2017 of Nero basically making fun of the people who were hard reverse boosting in COD World War II. It was the early implementations of skill-based matchmaking. The early implementations of it were very bad. It was very, I don't want to say predictable, but the COD community very quickly discovered how to manipulate it. And every couple years, COD changes the formula. That way you can't just keep doing the same tactics to keep abusing matchmaking, to keep putting yourself in the lower protected bracket of physically handicapped, mentally handicapped, or, you know, older people. I had some people in the comments in my last video saying, hey, I'm an older person and, you know, games is hard with like high senses. And so like, regardless of the reason, they are forcefully inserting themselves into these lower protected brackets to then completely crush them and ruin their experience, you know, honestly, I couldn't imagine that. I'm not that bad of a player myself, but, you know, God forbid you have a learning disability, or not a learning disability, excuse me. You have a physical disability, you know, learning to use, you know, missing fingers with a custom controller. I could not imagine how hard that must be. I could not imagine playing Call of Duty with like a missing eye or being deaf. Like, there's just so many things that certain players have to deal with before they even get to the video game. And then once they get into the video game, they also now have to deal with people inserting themselves into their lobbies, dropping 6 to 15 nukes per game, and being called COD gods, but then they immediately crash out when they go to ranked. Kind of funny how that works. Another very, very reputable person is Drifter. Drifter made a video where he bet $1,000. He bet 1,000 smackaroonies, which is what you see right here. I have the follow-up tweet just so you can see that he actually followed through with it. But the follow-up tweet of this entire series was Drifter essentially said back in 2017 for COD World War II, Drifter said there is no skill-based matchmaking and you cannot prove to me there is skill-based matchmaking. He gave a $1,000 bet. And someone, I'm not going to go and track down the video. You can go watch the video if you would like. But someone tracked down a way They mathematically measured how strong the skill-based matchmaking was and essentially definitively proved that there was hard skill-based matchmaking in COD World War II. And Drifter, being the respectable man he is in the COD community, put a $1,000 wager on it and paid up. This is back in 2017, by the way. So you got Nero Cinema, Drifter, Exclusive Ace, so many other people who are putting their name on the line, their reputation, which is, you know, a very valuable thing in the world. I know a lot of people don't believe in having good credibility, but it's an actual important thing, believe it or not. And these people have been saying for almost 10 years, going on 8 years, that this shit is in the game. And again, I've lived through all this. For me, you know, this isn't new for me, but for a lot of you guys who are newer to COD, this is brand new for you. You might be wondering, okay, well, Beastly, it's in Advanced Warfare. It's in World War II. How many, like, hard games is it in? The answer is all of them. As you can see, this is a snippet from, I want to say it was a developer post, or maybe it was an update. I forget where this snippet comes from. But essentially, this is from the game Infinite. Yeah, this is Infinite Warfare. Yeah. We've introduced a new matchmaking system, cough cough skill-based matchmaking, to Infinite Warfare, designed to provide the highest quality of matches possible. And the beta is our chance to stress test this. We've been looking forward to the beta because our changes, such as these, required players' data and scale in order to truly optimize the new system. AKA, the last couple games, you guys found out how to abuse our system, so now we have to change the system. And I'm going to cover all that later, so don't you worry. But yes, this is the developers word for word in, well, how was this, from 2016, by the way, word for word saying we have put skill-based matchmaking in the beta and we will be rolling forward to it in the live game. We are just testing it. This is Advanced Warfare, so that's now 3 old CODs I have definitively proven World War II, Advanced Warfare, and Infinite Warfare all had it in this game. Next, for the people who... Why is this so blurry? My eyeballs just hurt looking at this. Can I get any higher quality? No, 720 is the best we got. Oh, well, I apologize. This is hurting my eyes to look at, so I can only imagine what you guys see. But this clip that I'm about to show you is what a 0.2 KD lobby looks like. This is someone who forcefully put themselves in a low protected bracket game. And as you will see, they're going to basically play with these people. God, this is so blurry. I apologize for how blurry this is, but it's the best quality that the Twitter clip has. Yeah, this guy is just running. Look at this. So when you see these Dismo and Korean Savage and Swag gameplays, where people literally can't shoot the broadside of a barn, these are the people they're playing against. Look, this guy is run. Oh, he finally got shot. He got shot once. Oh, he's dead. Oh my God, he's dead. Look at that. He ran into the enemy spawn on Nuketown for how long? Look at this. Look at this shit. This dude has missed like 30 bullets. Yeah, so basically, that's what that looks like. That's a 0.2 KD lobby back in Cold War. It's insane. It's insane at how manipulated it is. So if you're ever wondering why, you know, all of these people who are dropping nukes, double nukes, triple nukes, quadruple nukes, you know, 15 nukes, all of these people who are doing this, it's pretty, and you know, they're not getting shot. You can see why. They're sticking themselves in the lowest possible bracket they possibly can. And then they're just running around and destroying people. Brought this guy back up because of the funny stats. 113 wins, 1 loss. The screenshot was in my previous video. Is a 21 KD. Like, that is just astronomically not natural. And, you know, you see people in the comments to my right of the video or of the picture that, you know, there are people calling him out. Right, so, because he deserves it. But this is just unnatural. Unnatural games. So yeah, this has to do with, this is all the Twitter stuff I've compiled for a follow-up. Next. This is the Drifter skill, excuse me. This is the Drifter skill-based matchmaking experiment he did back in 9 years ago in Advanced Warfare. Gonna make sure we got this as high quality as we possibly can. And essentially, I'm gonna just boil it down for you. Where's the chart? I'm gonna basically summarize what Drifter discovered in his notes, because there's I don't need to play this whole 20-minute video for the charts. Essentially, as you can see from starting here, there is a direct linear line. The higher KD you have, the higher KD the opponent players and your teammates are. Now, when Drifter did this experiment 9 years ago, he did this with 2 KDA players. Personally, I don't believe a 2 KD player is that high, honestly. I don't know why Drifter stopped at 2 KDAs. I don't know why he did, but I feel like 9 years ago, I guess Drifter would have done this a little different now, but 9 years ago, he was just basically proving it was real to begin with, and he definitively did. The closer you get to 2, the closer your opponents also get to having 2. That's essentially, as you can see, this line exponentially goes up. So, assuming the math wouldn't change, if you go up to 3 KD, 4 KD, 5 KD, 21.22 or 21.23 KD like that one guy had, theoretically, that line, because even though these numbers are going up on the x-axis, the y-axis would also keep going up exponentially, which, like I have said multiple times, this is unnatural. I think he also had another chart in here. Where was it? So then he did the same thing with win-loss ratio. And as you could probably guess, as you can see following the line, the higher your win-loss ratio is, the higher the opponent's KD was. It directly, all of it factored in, which we'll get to that later, why. But there was a direct correlation between the increase in win-loss and increased KD, and then increase in your KD and the increase of KD of the people you played. So in Advanced Warfare, spoilers, they did not just have the system prized on KD. This was the first COD in which they changed the formula from just solely using KD to win-loss. And then eventually when we get to the more modern stuff where there's a whole bunch of factors that play into it. But yeah, and then where is the words? Where was it? Here we go. Reverse boosting makes you, oh, I can't say that on Twitch or on YouTube. Actually, I can, but I'm not going to. Where's the word, Drifters? Where's the thing? I know I had it paused. There we go. Reverse boosting will probably work, comma, but will get you banned. How funny that we have flashed forward 9 years. This has been a thing that we have been documented and knowing about for over 9 years. And 9 years ago, Drifter was like, I can definitively prove it's not just in the game, but how to, how it works. And you shouldn't do it because you'll get banned. Spoilers, no one ever gets banned from 2-boxing or VPNing or reverse boosting or, insert thing here. Nobody ever gets banned from it. Now, it might change this year in Black Ops 6 because so many people are doing it. But essentially, no one's ever been banned for doing it. And this is just so sad to me. This is the videos are here. So for all the people, in the words of Drifter from 9 years ago, reverse boosting makes you an arsehole. There is no room to argue about it. If you stick yourself, if you purposely manipulate matchmaking to shit on other players, you're an asshole. If you do it for a YouTube video to financially benefit from bullying and harassing lower bracketed players, you're an asshole. This is something we've been known about for 9+ years. Also, if you guys don't know, it's also the reason why a lot of players have issues with connection. I have really good internet for where I live, and the amount of times COD will give me 100 ping lobby, and I'm not just talking about Black Ops 6. I'm talking about all the CODs beforehand. It's because they don't value your connection. They value matching you based off your skill-based matchmaking number. So if I'm NA, right, and the best lobby to fit my needs is EU, they'll throw me in an EU lobby, and my ping will be egregious. If you're, you know, NA East Coast, you might have to play NA West Coast, or, you know, somewhere in Mexico. You know, you might be playing in a South American lobby, all because the game's like, hey, you have to play with these people, because ping is no longer king, and it's not been that way for a long time. But yeah, it's just, you can't. I understand defending. If you're a fan of someone, I understand defending them, but at some point you have to call a spade a spade. At some point you have to just objectively say, look, either I support it or I don't. I will never 2-box reverse boost or any skill-based matchmaking manipulation to intentionally bully and abuse bad players. I will never do that. If you do that, that is your choice. I cannot stop you from doing it, and neither can COD. If you choose to stick yourself in these protected lobbies, it kind of reflects you as a person, because it's a whole different category to put yourself in, you know, bad lobbies. But to put yourself in the 0.2, the 0.1, the 0.05 lobby, you know, the decimal point lobbies, the really low decimal lobbies, you're a piece of garbage. If you're putting yourself in like 0.5 KDs, 0.6, 0.7, you know, slightly below average lobbies, you know, I still think it's shitty, but at least you're not bullying and abusing, you know, people with disabilities and other issues. There's ranges to this, and I'm mostly referring to the YouTube/content creators who intentionally stick themselves in lobbies with people who struggle to use both their thumbs and ears at the same time. And to wrap it all up for this video, I have 2 pictures, just in case if you're not a audible learner, if you're more of a visual learner. Here's the easiest way I can show you what is going on. Okay, so this chart, this picture I made, is a visual way of basically explaining skill-based matchmaking. From COD 1 to Ghost, if there was online multiplayer, there was loose skill-based matchmaking. I will explain what loose skill-based matchmaking is in a minute, but just know there is loose skill-based matchmaking, and then from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare to Black Ops 6, the slew of games with 3, 6, 9, these last 11 games have had more restrictive skill-based matchmaking. And as you will see in a second chart I'm going to show you, for all my visual learners out there, to visually see what I'm referring to. The golden age of COD, this includes Ghost, had skill-based matchmaking basically to where the protected players were in their own bracket, and then everybody else played together. There was basically 2 pools of players. There was the protected players, and there was everybody else. So if you look at a gameplay from like OG Modern Warfare 2, or Black Ops 1, or Modern Warfare 3, or Black Ops 2, or even Ghost, you could find these games where someone goes like 110 and like 4. You can find those gameplays from back in the day of people popping off and maybe like, well, Beastly, you said last game, if you do that well, you're abusing skill-based matchmaking. Well, back in the day, the player pool was so vast and so wide that if you just played COD enough, you would eventually have one of those lobbies. You would have a stomp lobby. You would eventually just shred people, eventually. But then you would also have lobbies where you're going against people who are trying to win, the sweaties and yada, yada, yada. But that was because there was almost no skill-based matchmaking. The only actual skill-based matchmaking that existed pre-Ghost was basically just separating the lowest bracketed players of the protected players and everybody else. There was 2 categories. And because 98% of the player base was in one category and 2% of the player base was in another, it was basically no skill-based matchmaking because it was too random. But then through Advanced Warfare all the way to Black Ops 6, every couple years, they refined the algorithm, they refined the formula. And they changed the requirements, and it also ultimately changes how the game is played. To see a visual representation of that, I made this. So if you're, again, a visual person and what I'm saying sounds like gibberish, this is a visual chart of what I'm referring to. So from COD 1 to COD Ghost, the first chart is what it was. There were two segments of players. There was the normal player base, which was 98% of the players, and then there was the protected bracket players. Pretty simple. Not because 98% of the players were in this giant pool of players. Sometimes you'd get sweaties, sometimes you get really, casual players, sometimes you get really bad players. It was a pretty much healthy mix of everything, except for the really, really, really bad players. They would play in their own game. So for the people who say that skill-based matchmaking has been in every COD, technically it has. But as you will see as we ramp up the chart, yes, skill-based matchmaking has always been in Call of Duty. It's been in every PvP online game. The parameters have changed drastically in the last 7 or 8 years. Then we get to the second chart. This is from COD Advanced Warfare to COD Infinite Warfare. As you can see, the protected player base went up from 2% to 4%. The normal player base dropped from 98 to 91%. And then, as you can see, we have a new color, the pink, representing the high skill-based matchmaking players. So these are the Dismos of the world. These are the Carrying Savages. These are the people who drop 500 and 0 gameplays. These are the high skill-based matchmaking bracketed players. As you can see, from one batch of CODs to the next, the numbers changed. There is now a new qualifier in a high bracketed game. Now, obviously, I don't have any actual numbers to verify what I'm showing you. This is just a visual representation of what I'm talking about. And then we get from COD World War II to COD Cold War. As you can see again, the normal player base has shrunk, the protected player base has increased, and the skill-based matchmaking player base has also increased. And then we get to the most recent Call of Duties, from Vanguard to Black Ops 6. As you can see, the parameters have been changed yet again. Now there is no longer a normal player base. Now you have the slightly below average, the slightly above average, you have the protected player base, and then you have the high skill-based matchmaking players. And if you're curious how you figure out what category you're in, it used to be just KD. I guess I can go ahead and put the other picture back up. But this was mostly just KD. KD and Playtime were the golden age of COD. Then from Advanced Warfare to Infinite Warfare, it was pretty much just exclusively KD. Which is why you would see people in old Advanced Warfare gameplays of just them spawning, putting a rocket launcher down, and blowing themselves up. That's why you would see that. They'd intentionally tank their KD to get really easy lobbies. The devs realized that we figured out that it's KD base. So then from World War II to Cold War, the devs were like, okay, well, we can't just have it KD because people will manipulate it. We can't have it as playtime because that also can be manipulated. So how do we have a system to accurately depict players that they can't permanently abuse? So from COD World War II to, I believe, Cold War, they switched to basically a per match system. So you could go 0 in a billion and tank your KD, but that would only affect your next 5 or so games. So what they did was, rather having it to be permanently lowered, like in Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and Infinite Warfare, to have it your KD permanently nuked, now it only reflects the last 5 or 10 or so games. So this allowed people to tank their stats, have a couple good games, but then they're back to the normal lobbies. They're back to the people who actually can shoot back, to the people who actually can use their thumbs and their ears and their eyes. And so this stunted people's ability to abuse it, because again, if you had to waste 10 games to tank your stats, and then you only got a couple games to really abuse bad players, that's a very big, sunk cost for how much time you're spending versus how much you're getting out of it. That's why if you look at, Call of Duty YouTubers like Dismo and Korean Savage and Swag, between this time period of games, these 4 games, the amount of nukes they dropped that basically got spread out. They weren't posting them daily. They weren't posting them multiple times a day. It was like once every few days, maybe once a week. That's because, again, you have to tank like 10 or so games worth of stats to then get 1 or 2 games of really easy games. And then lastly, from Vanguard to present, the newest CODs, it's no longer just your KD. It's no longer just your win rate. It's just also not even your last 5 or 10 games. Now it's factoring things like weapon accuracy. If you go to the leaderboards and check in Black Ops 6, there's a stat for weapon accuracy. There's other stats that are in the game now for basically Call of Duty to tell you whether or not you're an above average, below average, a top 1% or bottom 1% player. So yes, skill-based matchmaking has technically been in all of the CODs, but this skill-based matchmaking was basically just everybody play but the 2% of protected players. From Advanced Warfare to Black Ops 6, they've been constantly changing the formula. They've been constantly changing the algorithm to manipulate your matches to get a desired outcome. I do not support skill-based matchmaking. There is a common misconception in my last video where I supported skill-based matchmaking. I do not support skill-based matchmaking. I support the OG skill-based matchmaking, the loose skill-based matchmaking from COD 1 to Ghost. I support that one. I do not support any other skill-based matchmaking. To put it in non-Call of Duty terms, I support X-Defiant skill-based matchmaking, which basically there is none. That's basically it. I don't believe people should ever have the ability to forcefully insert themselves in a low-bracketed protected lobby. I will never believe in that, and I will never do that. Shout out to the thousands of you guys who watched my last video. Means the absolute world to me. I'm going to go chop this video up, get this posted, and can't wait to hear you guys' reaction to it. Again, I cannot say thank you from the bottom of my heart enough. You guys absolutely killed that last video. I have like 3,000 views, which is just overwhelmingly my most viewed video on my channel ever. I thank you guys so much. I gained like 50 subscribers from that last video. Again, I'm so appreciative. Thank you. Drop me a comment. Let me know if this follow-up video clarified some things, if I may have confused you further. Maybe I might have to do a part 3. I don't know. But as always, I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, night, afternoon, day, or every time you watch my content in the future. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Drop me a follow/sub on Twitch. It means the absolute world to me. Let me know how you guys feel about this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you. Deuces.